In the heart of the American South, nestled amidst the picturesque Ozark Mountains and the sprawling Mississippi River, lies the state of Arkansas. It's a region steeped in history, culture, and undeniably rich folklore. Yet, beneath the charming aura of its natural beauty and southern hospitality, Arkansas harbors a less talked about tradition. A collection of spine-chilling tales and urban legends that have been whispered from generation to generation. These stories, imbued with eerie supernatural elements and haunting mysteries, have become an integral part of the state's cultural identity. In this video, we are going to delve into the shadowy depths of some of Arkansas's most captivating urban legends, unearthing the spine-tingling narratives that have long been entwined with the state's history. From the spectral apparition said to haunt the historic Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, to the spine-chilling legend of the dog boy of Quitman, each story adds an interesting element to the fabric of Arkansas. These tales, while unsettling, offer not just a thrilling journey into the supernatural, but also a unique lens through which to explore the socio-cultural underpinnings of Arkansas. They reflect the fears, the hopes, and the values of the communities that tell them. Alright guys, please buckle up for a journey into the uncanny as we delve into the dark corners of Arkansas, Arkansas's spookiest urban legends. Here we go. Arkansas Highway 365. A young man was driving down Arkansas 365 south of Little Rock when he saw a young girl on the roadside. He offered to give her a lift and draped his coat over her shoulders because she was cold and she was soaked from the rain. She gave him directions to her house. When the young man finally arrived, he got out of the car and walked around to the other side to help her out of their seat, but no one was there. Confused, the man walked up to the house and knocked on the door. A woman answered, and he explained what had occurred. The woman said, "That young girl is my daughter who was killed years ago. She hitchhikes back home once a year." The young man then drove to the cemetery to see the young girl's grave, and that's where he found his coat draped over her tombstone. Did you know that Arkansas is home to several allegedly haunted roads and bridges? There have been reports of hauntings and paranormal activity by those who have ventured down these Arkansas roads and across these bridges. And what they had to say might just creep you out a little bit, or at least give you something to think about when passing these places during your travels. Here's a list of some of the most haunted ones in Arkansas. Are you brave enough to take that drive? Primrose Lane. Some residents who live near Primrose Lane in Paragould claim to have seen the ghost of a man who reportedly shot himself, and his dog who had supposedly died shortly after. People have reported also seeing the two ghosts in the nearby woods. Old Redfield Road. Old Redfield Road in Sheridan is apparently crackling with paranormal activity. People claim to have seen ghosts walking along the road as well as in the cemetery. Electrical items such as flashlights and radios have reportedly stopped working when in this area. Radar Phantom Road. Radar Phantom Road lies less than an hour away in Rogers. If you cruise around the area at night, you might encounter the ghostly form of a dead Civil War soldier riding his horse. This haunted place in Arkansas is eerie, even if you miss the Soldier's Night Ride. Crossit Railroad tracks and Crossit. The railroad crossing at Murray's Saline Road in Crossit is haunted. A swinging light appears to be wandering the tracks at this location. Locals say the light comes from the spirit of a man who was decapitated after being struck by a train. Allegedly, the ghost is searching for his head. Tilly Willie Bridge. Although the original bridge in Fayetteville was demolished in 2010, the ghost of a woman who drove off the edge, killing herself and her children in the process, supposedly haunts the area. Some locals claim that when stopped near the bridge site, their car windows fog up and the handprints of the woman appear on the outside of the glass. Even if she doesn't make an appearance, a night drive over Tilly Willie is a spine-chilling experience. Wolf Bayou Bridge in Scott, Arkansas. Although it was replaced in 2005, the Wolf Bayou Bridge in Scott is still a hot topic with Arkansas ghost hunters. According to legend, a mother and her young child both died after driving off the bridge. Visitors who venture to the spot at night might see an ethereal figure in white or even experience sudden vehicle trouble after crying out, "Mama Lou, I've got your baby." Bono Bridge in Bono, Arkansas. Although the original bridge was demolished in 2011, the area where the Bono Bridge was located is still said to be haunted. As local legend has it, people would stand on the bridge and look out at the railroad tracks below. As a train approached, the watcher felt the sudden terror of nearly getting struck. Creepy noises and apparitions are said to still appear in the area where the bridge once was. Springfield Day Arc Bridge. The Springfield Day Arc Bridge is an iron bowstring truss bridge that stretches over Cadron Creek. This is another location where some have reported hearing strange noises, among them the cry of a ghost baby and a disembodied girl's scream. Haunted cemeteries. Mount Holly Cemetery. Located at Broadway and 12th Streets in Little Rock, Mount Holly Cemetery is the final resting place for many notable Arkansans. Several reports of paranormal sightings and photographs taken at this property have been made, including apparitions of people dressed in period clothing and bright lights and mist. Some visitors even claim that statues have been mysteriously relocated to the lawns of nearby houses. The sounds of a flute echo has also been heard, and trinkets and small items have been known to appear and disappear around the graves. Maple Hill Cemetery. Hidden within Maple Hill Cemetery is a grave of a doctor and his dog. Legend has it that the man was murdered and his canon friend witnessed the brutal act. Once buried, the dog refused to leave the owner's grave, and the dog died from longing for his master. Some say if you listen very closely, you can hear the dog panting. Avon Cemetery in DeQueen, Arkansas. A ghostly mother and child are said to haunt the Avon Cemetery in DeQueen. Legend has it that long ago, the woman set the baby on the edge of the old well as she was drawing water, and the baby fell in and drowned. The mother's ghost has been seen in the cemetery, and some say that you'll hear a baby's cry if you drop a rock into the well in the center of the cemetery at night. Mysterious lights phenomena. Woodson Lateral Lights in Woodson, Arkansas. Rumor has it that eerie, ghostly lights appear at night in Woodson. Many who have traveled on Woodson Lateral Road after sundown claim to have seen these haunting lights and were followed by them for an infinite period of time. Gordon Light of Gordon, Arkansas. At various times during the night, some claim a haunting light can be found in Gordon, Arkansas along the railroad tracks. As the story goes, the source of light is from the lantern of a railroad employee's ghost. The story behind the employee's death varies. Some claim that the man was killed in a fight near the tracks, while others say he was struck by a train. In Quitman, Arkansas, the house at 65 Mulberry is said to be haunted by Dog Boy, also known as Gerald Bettis. Bettis earned the name Dog Boy for his disturbing habit of collecting animals from around the neighborhood to torture and kill. He was known as a vicious and cruel kid, and as he aged, he became more and more aggressive towards his parents. He was so abusive to his elderly mother that she finally had to be placed with adult protective services. Some believe Bettis even killed his own father, who was rumored to have died from a broken neck after an accidental tumble down the stairs. Based on his mother's testimony against him, as well as charges of growing and selling marijuana, Bettis was sent to prison and was found dead of drug overdose in the mid-1990s. Currently, Gerald's spirit is believed to be the source of poltergeist activity reported at his former home. His spirit is most often seen in an area in the house where Gerald was said to have kept the animals that he brutalized. Witnesses have claimed the 6'4", 300-pound man is now taking on animal-like features in death. He's still huge but shaggy with cat-like eyes. His ghost has also been seen glaring out the front window at people, and one witness even claimed that he came after him on all fours down the street. The Hornbrook House. Originally built as the most extravagant dwelling in the state by wealthy salon keeper James H. Hornbrook. The house currently operates as the Empress of Little Rock, a luxury bed and breakfast. Several paranormal encounters have been witnessed by former owner Robert H. Blair and workers and guests. Blair saw a period-dressed gentleman, complete with top hat, floating down the stairs. While restoring the secret poker room in the attic, hired painter Timmy Watts found himself locked out, even though no handle or lock was on the door yet. When he returned with a screwdriver to let himself back in, Watts saw that the door was now open and the same image of a man that Blair previously had witnessed appeared before him. The Clayton House. Originally serving as a residence for William Henry Harrison Clayton and his family, the Clayton House has also been home to several paranormal experiences. Director Martha Seiler and her employees steer clear of a bedroom on the second floor where the sounds of boots stomping and doors slamming have been heard. In Clayton's study, Silver and her daughter have both seen an apparition of a woman with gray hair dressed in brown. A carpenter took pictures while working on the house, and when he got them back, a woman had appeared in the pictures. Paranormal investigators have captured several recordings in the house, including one of a cat meowing and one of a man yelling in obscenity. When the public was invited on these investigations, one woman reported her hair being tugged and a man reported seeing a person's face. The Allen House. Built in 1906, the Allen House is located along North Main Street and features Gothic-style architecture and wrought iron fencing. The house was planned by local businessman Joe Lee Allen to be the most impressive house the town had ever seen. Unfortunately, in December of 1948, the family experienced a grave tragedy. Their daughter, Liddell, consumed mercury cyanide-laced punch in the house's master suite. Out of grief, her mother sealed off the room, and it would not be entered by anyone for nearly 4 decades. During its time as an apartment building in the 1950s, tenants would report eerie circumstances, including hazy figures appearing in photographs, furniture being unexplainably rearranged, and several reports of a lady sitting in a turret window. Mr. Lyle's house in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Jimmy Lyle built this Jonesboro house in 1926, and local residents say there are several fun-loving spirits around the premises. The ghost of Mr. Lyle is said to have been seen wandering in areas of the house. The house underwent renovation in 2006. Construction workers taking a break one day claimed that they heard a child laughing and running around on the second floor, but not a soul was inside when they checked. A family who lived in the house during the 1970s recalls their daughter waking up and screaming upon seeing a little boy at the foot of her bed smiling at her. He ran through the wall and disappeared. McCollum-Chidester House. Currently serving as a museum and the home of the Washita County Historical Society, the McCollum-Chidester House has interesting ties to the Civil War. John Chidester, mailman and stagecoach operator, was accused of spying for the Confederacy while Union General Frederick still commandeered the house for 5 days during the battle at Poison Spring. Bullet holes can still be seen in a wall upstairs where Union soldiers fired at random, seeking Chidester. A voice saying, "Get out," was reported by a team of investigators visiting this room. In another room, a photo of a mirror revealed a man in a 3-piece suit standing behind the photographer, even though no one but the photographer was present. Crescent Hotel and Spa. The legendary 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa is one of the most popular haunted Arkansas destinations. Visitors can stay overnight and take tours revealing the secret underground passages. The property's old morgue is where the multitude of hauntings have been reported throughout the years. The most well-known ghost of the Crescent is Michael, a stonecutter who helped build the hotel, and he fell down to his death at the location of room 218. Michael is said to have been a womanizer who often got in trouble for flirting with the ladies. Room 218 is now the Crescent's most requested room. Another paranormal guest of the hotel is Dr. John Fremont Ellis, a former hotel physician. Dressed in top hat and fine clothing, he has been seen on the staircase from the second floor to the lobby, and smoke from Ellis's tobacco pipe is sometimes smelled near the elevator. Look out for a disappearing pool of blood, a resident morgue ghost around the autopsy table, and more eerie sightings. Basin Park Hotel. Sister hotel to the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa, the Basin Park Hotel was built in 1905 by William Duncan, after nearly bankrupting all investors involved. The ghost of Duncan, in his traditional brown suit and derby, is believed to still be roaming the property. A vision of a young girl in a long white dress waiting for her groom might be spotted in the property's barefoot ballroom. And the bells of slot machines from the 40s and 50s can be heard in the former illegal gambling parlor. In the hallways, apparitions of a lion ghost and a young woman bent on evicting visitors from her room have also been spotted. Curran Hall. Currently the home of the Little Rock Visitors Information Center, the house was originally built by Colonel Ebenezer Walters for his young bride, Mary. Mary Walters was never able to see the completed structure. She died in childbirth just before the house was finished. Grief-stricken, Colonel Walters left the state, and the house was owned by several different people, some of whom have reported experience in the presence of Mary Walters. Visitor Center staff has also experienced eerie occurrences, including a picture coming off the wall and a coffee machine making coffee with no grounds or water present. A team of supernatural experts have even captured a voice recording saying, "Mary, that's who I am." Pea Ridge National Military Park. Pea Ridge National Military Park in Garfield is home to one of the best preserved Civil War battlefields. It's also home to the ghosts of dead Confederate and Union soldiers that still wander the battlefields as sounds of cannons and muskets fire in the distance. Pea Ridge is a great place for history buffs to explore and learn about the battle that saved Missouri for the Union. Natural Steps. A unique geological formation along the banks of the Arkansas River. Natural Steps is a small town with an unsettling history of buildings, structures, and people disappearing. Days after a local couple's wedding atop the Natural Steps, the groom perished from a sudden and mysterious illness. Overwhelmed with grief, the widow disappeared after the funeral, many believe by committing suicide by jumping off the Natural Steps. Residents and visitors alike have since reported seeing a woman in white strolling through the town. During the Civil War, Confederate forces are believed to have sunk their own gunboat containing vast sums of gold in order to keep Union troops at bay. 3 Confederate soldiers died during the explosion, and their graves can be found in the town's cemetery. Legend has it on moonlit nights, the ghosts of the 3 soldiers march in single file line to the Arkansas River to uncover their hidden treasure. Ghost Mountain. A tragic story surrounds a mountain southeast of Drake-Field Airport in Fayetteville. In the 1930s, a man came home to his wife and child after a long night of drinking. His wife had been up all night caring for the sick child, whose incessant crying had made the inebriated father furious. In his anger, he grabbed the baby and stumbled outside and threw the child down the well. His wife grabbed the well's rope in an attempt to save the baby, but the father cut the rope, leaving the wife and the child in the well. The father left town, never to be seen again. Reports have been made that a woman's scream and a baby's crying can still be heard at this location. What are the most popular ghost stories in Arkansas? One of the most passed around ghost stories in Arkansas is that of the Phantom of the King Opera House in Van Buren, Arkansas. In the late 19th century, an actor fell in love with the daughter of a prominent town doctor who disapproved of their relationship. The two made plans to run away together, who were met at the Van Buren train depot by the young girl's father, who whipped the boy to death. Several former employees at the Opera House have reported feeling like they were not alone, often feeling like someone was in the room with them. Others have even reported seeing the ghost of the young actor, dressed in a top hat and Victorian-style coat, searching the theater for his true love. Haunted bar. If you're looking to share a spirit with a spirit, look no further than the Four Quarter Bar, one of the most haunted bars in Arkansas. This Little Rock watering hole opened in 2016, but the building is one of the oldest in the city. In the early 1900s, the building operated as a brothel, and as legend goes, the owner was in love with a prostitute that worked there. But she fell in love with another man, enraging the owner. In a fit of blind rage, he split her throat and threw her off the balcony. In a very karmic turn of events, the owner met the exact same fate years later when he got into an argument with a patron who slit his throat and threw him off the balcony as well. Many people have reported seeing the ghostly apparition of a young woman wearing period clothing roaming around. And employees have reported that it's not uncommon for things to disappear or move around on their own or shatter unexpectedly. The Boggy Creek Monster. According to the people of Fouke, Arkansas, their town was the first place that this 300-pound beast, also called the Fouke Monster, was spotted back in 1834. Described as a wild man running loose in Arkansas, the Boggy Creek Monster is covered in thick hair and stands 8 feet tall, upright on 2 feet. Sightings continued to increase all throughout the 1900s. There were over 40 separate sightings in 1997 alone, and another in broad daylight in the year 2000, even though the creature is believed to be nocturnal. At least 4 films were inspired by the legend of the Boggy Creek Monster. The film released in 1973 and was based on a real-life report from Bobby and Elizabeth Ford in 1971. They claimed that the Boggy Creek Monster attacked their home one night and actually reached through the screen of one of their windows. Bobby and his brother Dan thought they'd chased the beast off, but it came right back just after midnight and attacked Bobby, throwing him to the ground before running off. Bobby was rushed to St. Michael Hospital in Texarkana with large gashes across his back, suffering shock. Newspapers covering the sightings at the time reported that an investigation of their home revealed scratches on the porch and significant damage to the window in the side of the house. And in the yard, there were 3 toed footprints. Skeptics claim that some of the Boggy Creek Monster sightings might actually be black bear rearing up on their hind legs. So as you can see, Arkansas is home to some of the most haunted places in the United States. Despite numerous attempts to explain the hauntings, the true nature of these occurrences remain shrouded in mystery. As visitors brave the shadows and echoes of these haunted places, one cannot help but wonder what restless spirits might still linger in the darkness, waiting to make their presence known. Alright guys, thank you for watching this episode of Tales Told in the Dark. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave those comments, guys. I love my comments. And I'll see you next time. Alright guys, thank you.